Well, we'll go ahead and get started. We have with us West Liberty head women's basketball coach Kyle Cooper and senior McKenna Shives, junior Brandi Beader, and junior Marissa Brown. Coach Cooper, if you could talk to us about your season finale win over Wheeling Jesuit.
You know, obviously it's a great win, and it's another great team win. You know, you look at the assists to the field goals made, and it was 19 for the 32 made, and that's huge. And that's back to who we've been all year and trying to become, and that's that selfless basketball team. You know, that's probably a little bit lower percentage-wise than it's been, but that's because we got an unbelievable lift from Brandi Beader. She was an absolute machine today. But it was a great team win, and it was a great environment. Our fan base showed out. They were early. They were here to support McKenna Shives as our lone senior, which meant a lot to me because she's done a lot for our program in the 2 years she's been here. Hats off to Coach Buff and to her program. Both teams dealing with adversity of having each team having a starter out, and both teams found ways to fight through and make a great ball game. We just managed to make enough plays down the stretch to come out on top. But that's a testament to our players buying in and our players playing confident down the stretch of this game.
Talk about you know, kind of the seesaw nature of the game. Went back and forth a little bit there in the first half, and then the way the first half ended was just incredible with you know, throwing in that 3 at the buzzer. And also you're in the half, you know, what was the mood in the locker room at halftime? It's 40-40. You've had a big lead. They've been up. You know, what was the mood in there?
Honestly, I was very frustrated. I got on them because I just felt that when you're playing these games with teams that run sets every time and look to create isolations every time, you've got to be dialed in. And we started off the game in that, and we held them to 11 points in a quarter. And that's about where we wanted it to be. Like, we were hoping that we could keep them under that 14-15 mark each quarter if we maintained focus and got clean rebounds. And then in the second quarter, we gave up 29 points, and it was like watching a different basketball team. Now, I'll say this, I got on them pretty good and hit on some of the issues we were having, and that were game plan issues, and we responded and played great defense in the third and fourth quarter. So beyond impressed with that. And you know, the nature of the game, though, is when you're playing them and you're playing a team much like Charleston and so on that runs a set every time, you are at the mercy of, we better maintain great focus on every isolation, and we better rotate the proper way. And if you don't, they're going to score. And if you do, you're going to hold them down. And that's where we've got to just get better as a team, and that's something we've been working for all year. And you saw that they earned the growth factor again of locking in for the last half there to shut them down in a major way when we needed it.
It seemed pretty obvious from the start of the game, Marissa, that they were really focused on not letting you have the ball, and when you did get it, you drew a big crowd. And how were you able to work through that and and come up with the numbers that you came up with again?
Well, I think in the beginning, the first half, it created more opportunities for my teammates to shoot threes because they would always have 2 on me. And I think once they started leaking out more, once they started hitting shots, it opened it up for me. So we both did our jobs.
And Coach, is that how it's supposed to work?
Yeah, in an ideal situation, that is how it's supposed to work. And anytime Marissa wants to continue to go 12 or 13 from the field or only miss 1 or 2 buckets, we love that. But you know, I think playing inside out came down to, we bought in a little bit more as the game progressed to playing faster. We stopped slowing it down with them and playing at their tempo, and we were able to offset their defense and make them have to rotate harder and play uncomfortable.
Brandi, what got into you tonight? I mean, it was, seriously, it was opening tap, the final buzzer, you never stopped.
Well, I think it was before the game. Coach was like, just fall in love with the game, and I think he just kept repeating it, and it got in my head, and I knew I had to play hard to win this game, so I did it for my teammates and my coaches.
Kyle, I don't know if you already addressed this, but I thought they did a good job in the first half of limiting Marissa's touches. What were you guys able to do to get her more in the second half?
I think and Marissa addressed it more than me, but I think it was just the idea of, that's become our identity. When you do get us in a half court, we're going to pound it into you, and if not, we're going to move the ball and hope that you over-rotate. And Brandi did a phenomenal job of attacking the rim, and when they're not going to help off of Marissa, she took advantage of it and she went at him. And I think I will say this, B's a pretty modest player, and Brandi is never going to be one to brag on herself or her game, or she's not going to say a lot. But that's the Brandi Beader that, again, I'm telling you, and I hope it for next year, and I hope it for the tournament. She's an all-conference player. There's no doubt in my mind she is an all-conference player. It's just pulling it out of her every time. And as a coach, that's something that her and I work on every day, is just getting it the consistency. She's an all-conference player. She is a star, and she showed that tonight. But again, it was just the inside-outside nature of the game, and again, we were pretty highly efficient with Marissa going 12-13.
And McKenna, we'll ask again now that Sean's here. Talk about the emotion. I mean, even though you're a transfer, you've been here 2 years. Obviously, you're part of the family, and just what it's like. Great atmosphere, jam-packed arena, arch rival, big game in terms of seeding for tournament, a lot on the line. Your last game, and all, and you play well and you get a win. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels awesome. I've only been here for 2 years, but I feel like I've been here for all 4. Since day one, the university welcomed me with open arms, his coaching staff welcomed me with open arms, and I can't thank them enough for that. I love playing here. I love wearing the West Liberty jersey, and especially beating Jesuit on our home floor on senior night. That's just an amazing thing, and I'm so glad I'll take that with me once I'm done here. Coach, at the beginning of the game, and his pregame talk was what Brandi said, emphasis on falling in love with the game. And I think it really sparked something in us, because we've been playing for so long, and it's just awesome. And I can't believe that it's almost over for me, and to end on this note, it's really great.
We're going to play a few more if it's okay.
Regulation, of course.
Kyle, can you kind of just touch on how far this group has come in a year's time?
Yeah, I think everybody wants to measure everything in wins and losses, and there's no better place that's known than when I stand next to down the hallway from Ben Hallett, who has done what he's done this year. And for us, it's just a different process. It really is. And for us, it's about taking strides, and that's why there's a lot of coaches, I think, that would have been on tilt at times this year. And don't get me wrong, you get frustrated as a coach, you get down, but you've got to bring it every day for your kids. And they've really responded. They've bought into the process. I mean, you look at our last 2 games, 1 and 2 in the league, and we take them both down to the wire and have our chances to win, even though we hit adversity moments of being down big. That's the growth. So people can talk about wins and losses all they want. They can talk about stats. They can do all that. This team has grown in a major way. It will never be reflected in the record books by the wins and the losses, but it will be reflected by the impact these kids have had on our program and how it's going to carry on in the future for us. And the last thing I'll say about it is they earned this win. You go play the 1 and the 2 team in the league, and you fight like crazy and not give up when a lesser team that hasn't grown and hasn't gained the experience and the maturity. That's how we won this game. It wasn't just what we did tonight. It was putting it together over a couple nights. And again, there's no moral victory, but that was huge the way we responded these last 2 games.
And moving forward, obviously you've clinched a bye, play again Thursday. What do you guys think about having a few days now to recuperate? Because that's a quick turnaround. Go up to Cleveland on Thursday night, and you're back here again Saturday afternoon. So, looking forward to catching your breath a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be nice, especially recovering. We've gotten beat up a little bit. So definitely recovering and coming in strong to the tournament. This definitely gives us momentum. Going to the MEC, going to Charleston, we're really excited about it. Can't wait.
You talked about wins and losses, Kyle, and you look at Glenville, they don't have any losses. But are teams starting to narrow the gap here as we go down the stretch of the season with them as you look forward to the tournament?
Yeah, I think to an extent. I think we obviously have, but we technically usually do play with them. Our system kind of has success against them. We played with them for 3 quarters down at their place pretty darn well, beginning of the year. But yeah, I think people are narrowing the gap a little bit, but I think it's also, there's a lot of pressure on those kids at Glenville. So hats off to Kim, and Coach Stevens has done a great job and her staff in keeping them focused in. I mean, that is a hard thing. That is an extremely hard thing. You know, I was just visiting with Coach Alm the other day. To go undefeated in conference play, which I don't know if they won or not today. I'm making the assumption they did. But to go undefeated in conference play, that's special. I mean, you talk about, we have had incredible teams at this institution the last couple of years I've been here and across his 25 years of success. It's hard. That is a hard thing. So I think, you know, people are narrowing the gap, but I think it comes with the territory of being the one that's always hunted.
How do you see the tournament playing out?
I believe this in my head and in my heart. We're capable of making a run in this tournament if we fall in love with the game. So going back to what I told them today, we've got to value every possession and we got to love it. You know, we're going to be a little bit off. We're still working through recovering from not having a true point guard in a point guard driven system right now. We've only had 2 games under our belt. Monday we'll sit down and watch some film and learn some things off of it. But again, this team, I'm confident that we can make a run. But I think they would say the same thing if you ask them. We only care about Thursday. We're going to celebrate this one. We really are. We're going to enjoy this tonight. They're going to have an off day tomorrow. And then we're just going to worry about getting better as a program and then getting ready for Thursday. But I think it is really, you know, Glenville's the favorite for sure. But there's a lot of teams that can make noise in this team in this tournament any given night.